Asa indeed. What is up, Cobra Kai fans? Welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing? It's been only a few weeks since I last streamed, which is kind of crazy to think. I hope you've all been doing well, enjoying the Christmas period. I mean, we got Christmas in a few days, so hope it's been going well for you all, and hope you've all been reflecting on 2024, because I have this past few days just to see in general how I feel about it and just everything related to the channel and my life, friendships, family, all this stuff. But yeah, it sounds like I'm going off track, but no. We're going to be talking about Cobra Kai Season 6 having a trailer drop next week, because all sites are on that. And I was going to originally talk about the Cry Kid Legends trailer specifically on a stream, but that's going to be part of this as well. And surprisingly, John Hurwitz, one of the co-creators of Cobra Kai, did a Q&A today, only an hour and a half ago, which is pretty crazy. So we can go through some of the stuff he said. He gave little bits of teasers and a few things just to be excited for with part 3. Obviously, he didn't say any spoilers, but he did allude to things, and, you know, John's great at doing that. So looking forward to seeing what comes out of that part 3 teaser. So if you guys have any questions about part 3, or, you know, what day this teaser is dropping, or, you know, anything about the Karate Kid Legends trailer, please comment them down below now in the comment section, and I'll try and get as many answered. And we'll probably be going live for about an hour today, so hopefully we'll get all your questions in. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have. I see a lot of people on the stream. What is up, guys? I will ignore that typo of my name comment. This is the first time I'm on the channel. Oh, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. What is going on, John? I hope you're well. Thank you for being here. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining. It's always cool to see Cobra Kai TikTokers in here. Yeah, what's going on? And thanks for super chat. Really sweet of you. What in the hell did I just read? Anyway, when is the Cobra Kai Season Part 3 teaser coming out? So, based on what John Hurwitz said, we're getting a tiny glimpse this month. I think that basically gave it away that we're getting a teaser. And you got to remember, we still haven't got an official date announcement for Part 3. It's still like not been made 100% clear and put out there and put on the socials, on the Netflix page and the Cobra Kai pages. Like, they haven't gone and full out gone, yeah, this is the release date. Like, I saw articles saying February, the Netflix site said February, and then they removed it. So a little bit interesting if maybe they're trying to remove that date, so then they want to move it up, or I don't know. Or they just maybe wanted to wait till Christmas and do a Christmas teaser, because we all know how great Cobra Kai does around Christmas, even with marketing. Love you too, bro. Happy holiday season, everybody. What's going on? Yeah. John also made this point on Twitter that trailers always drop close to release day. I've said this in my videos, so we're definitely getting the official trailer. So when I say this clearly, just remember this: official trailer, January. Teaser trailer, December, this month, next week. And because Ralph and William, as I said in my video earlier on, yesterday I dropped it, and I dropped one earlier on today about the teaser trailer dropping next week. I just want to make that clear that official trailers always drop close to release date, 3 weeks out. And John made that very clear in his Q&A. I mean, I don't know why some fans don't know this already, but like, I guess if you never know that, or never knew that, then now you know. Yeah, I think they're just waiting it out, but I think the marketing has to start now for part 3. It's literally the last part, and I'm expecting January to be absolutely packed with marketing. You know, start the year strong. And dropping a teaser trailer for Cobra Kai on Christmas Day is such a great time to do that, especially because this NFL game is being streamed on Netflix Live. And because of Ralph and William promoting it, you know, people are going to be interested. The Karate Kid Legends trailer dropped this week as well. So it's going to be fresh in people's heads about Cobra Kai, you know, with this final season. So it kind of did help that that Karate Kid trailer came out before, because now this part 3 teaser is going to be able to capitalize on that hype. And I just can't wait to see what it is. I wish the Netflix promos were linked to the actual show's promos. Shows why they made that mistake in Sam's promo video. I remember everyone in the fandom was like so confused by why they were making these little mistakes. And this was a non-canon promo, but why didn't they just make a canon promo? It just would have made sense. I also want to say, I think those promos were so great, the ones in June, but they would have fitted part 2's marketing more, because we didn't see the tournament at all in part 1. And I feel like they would have been perfect to drop over August or September to start the marketing for part 2. So in hindsight, I think they should have done that, because part 2 should have had better marketing than part 1, especially because the tournament's in part 2. But that's just my opinion on it. I also think they never dropped Tori's promo trailer for some reason. We never saw promos with the new characters. I think Quan, Yoon, Axel, maybe Zara, Sensei Kim, don't know about Kreese. They should have had trailers or promo trailers. Like, I don't know why we didn't get that, because we could have got a glimpse of the characters. Just wish that Netflix had done that. But yeah, I'm still glad what we got. So yeah, I think the last episode is called XD Generate. I remember what's on Netflix had reported it earlier this year, and I think it was a theory a lot of people had. You know, it brings it full circle from Ace Degenerate, season 1, episode 1. Right. I just think it would have made a lot more sense because of this final season. I just want to put a disclaimer in this. If anyone brings up any spoilers or leaks, anything they've seen on Twitter, any set photos, do not mention it here. You know, I'm disappointed that people are going out there to try and spoil it. But I will also say this: you don't know if that's 100% true or not. But if it ends up being true, then you've just spoiled it for yourself. And I don't want to read anything like this. If you really care about the show, you won't do that for other fans. I'm just gonna say that. So please just refrain from saying anything that you've seen. Um, you know, I don't want anyone to feel like they're being ruined a lot of part 3. I don't want to be ruined part 3. So please don't say anything. Um I saw some good questions. Um where is maybe we'll get a good teaser clip from Netflix, the Iron Dragons one. That was great. You know what? If they drop a clip, that would be as good as like a normal teaser. If they drop the clip of part 3 from an earlier episode and then they confirm the release date, that would be amazing. I mean, either way, getting something like that would be phenomenal. I would be very happy with that. You want me to make an edit of you? Wow. I mean, I'd be honored. I still can't believe like 2 years ago when I really started to post on TikTok like Cobra Kai content. I remember a few TikTokers made edits of me from like Comic-Con and just my YouTube videos, and I was so honored. So I would love to see what you guys create. I think there's so many talented editors on TikTok for within this fandom. So anyone that thinks of making an edit of me, I'm just so honored. So I appreciate you even thinking of me. But yeah, I'd love to see what you can make. I'd honestly love to. I still can't believe it. I actually finally received my YouTube award, and I haven't done a video on it, but it's crazy. I haven't actually even opened it, so I want to wait to do a video and then go from there. So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys this, and I've also got a few Cobra Kai related things I need to do unboxings with. So I've got a lot of content, and I guess this is all. I feel like this is all to do with celebrating 100K. So yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for getting me there, and I just can't wait to see what other milestones we reach when part 3's out. So it's gonna be freaking awesome. Okay, I want to just clear something up. I know people might be worried that we might not be getting anything because of Geek Tweak, but I don't think we should let that ruin our expectation because Geek Tweak always has been a bit funny with that stuff. But because this is a big day on Christmas with Netflix titles, and there's a lot of shows that are coming out soon and are due updates, it makes so much sense. I mean, with Geek Week, I think we're all surprised we didn't get anything on part 2 because it was so close. But I definitely think we're getting a teaser, especially because part 3 is supposed to have the most marketing out of all the 3 parts that are dropping for season 6. So yeah. Hero Sensei Kid, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here. What is Johnny's arc this season, in your opinion? Well, I think this is just like Daniel. It's a full circle of the 84 All Valley, as the synopsis said. I don't know if you've read it. And I think, family is going to be a big one because that's been such an integral part of his story in Cobra Kai. I also think, redeeming himself, perhaps redeeming Cobra Kai. So I think it depends on the angle and what the end game is with Johnny. But we know Daniel's in Karate Kid Legends, but who's to say that Johnny isn't going to be in that or have a cameo towards the end of the movie? I mean, I don't think the film is gonna focus on Johnny at all because it's more about Daniel and Mr. Han and Li Fong. But a lot of fans have said, "Where's Johnny? Where's Johnny? Where's Johnny?" So the demand for Johnny to be in a Karate Kid film with Ralph again is so high. They need to make it happen. And however they do it, as long as it services his character and it works, I'm all here for it. We'll get into some more discussion about Karate Kid Legends because I have so many things I want to talk about with that trailer. What I want to do now is, if you haven't seen my video on, this teaser update, check that out because I've pretty much summarized it in this stream. But if you want to know a little bit more about that, and then I did a video on the synopsis, and I've dropped a few videos on the Karate Kid Legends. So loads of good stuff in there. And I think we can go into the Q&A that John did because that was very spontaneous. I didn't even know that was happening today, of course. So those Q&As, I love it when one of the creators just says, "Oh, spontaneous Q&A," and all these things. So excuse me. Let's start with this.
Yeah, Cobra Kai never dies.
Bruh.
Oh, I love those memes. How about this? Oh, did it not capture the whole thing? Okay, watch this. Man, literally, Silver sent Chris back to the 80s with that here. Did you read some CK fanfics? I have actually never. If you're talking on the channel, no, I've never done that. I have read some stuff before, but that's mainly because some people sent it my way. And I have seen some really weird ones. And then there's some really cool ones and really good ones that would be cool to see. But yeah. Oh, congrats on 500 subs, man. Well done. Keep it up. Appreciate that, Kasha. Oh, do I think Cheng will be in Karate Kid Legends? That would be pretty cool. Here's the thing, like, I know a lot of people have been discussing if Jaden Smith's Stray Park is going to be in the film. I don't think he fits this film at all. I know people will be like, what do you mean by that? Well, the angle they're going for in this film is that Lee is integral to Mr. Han's development as a sensei, and clearly they've got some relationship that's very similar to Daniel Miyagi, which is huge. So I think what they're trying to do is amend what they should have done in that 2010 film, include someone from the OG films, but also make a better story. But because the film was kung fu only, that's where they went wrong, and then they're calling it Karate Kid. Cheng is one of those characters, though. He was so popular, and he was so great. And Zach Wang, the actor who plays Cheng, did speak about working with Jackie on a project this year, which I don't know if he's part of the stunt team or if he's actually going to return as Cheng, but that would be really cool. And here's the thing, like, if Cheng is in the film, is this the same Cheng from the 2010 film, or did they cherry pick Cheng from the 2010 film and made him canon to the Miyagi-verse? Because we still don't know if it's set in stone that the 2010 film is canon, because, as I said, they could have just cherry picked the characters and moved them to the Miyagi-verse. So it's another version of the character, but they're in the main canon now. So you have to think about that. And Mr. Han's backstory could be very different in the Miyagi-verse, especially if they're trying to tie in his family history with Miyagi-Do, and perhaps at least like he knew Mr. Miyagi. That's what he was saying. I'm looking forward to the film, but I'm unsure what to expect from it. Maybe it'll be a good thing. Honestly, like, go in with low expectations, even if you are excited for it. I don't think so far, like, I'm worried about the film based on what I've seen in the trailer, but I'm definitely gonna go in with, low expectations. And so far, the trailer made it feel very promising, and we already know the action's gonna cook with Jackie's stunt team, and I'm just so excited to see what they do in that regard. But also the story with Daniel being involved, and Lee looks like a pretty promising new Karate Kid character, and so great to see Ming-Na Wen involved, and there's a really cool cast. And seeing Jackie and Ralph, that's got me excited because of childhood and stuff. Like, if you could be anyone Cobra Kai, who would it be? Miguel or Johnny? Um, I mean, it might sound very biased because they're like my main favorites, but yeah, I mean, why I would say is because I want to live through their experiences and sort of understand them more, even though I already do understand them. Um, Maybe a character that, hmm, I would say Chosen because he's so badass. Maybe Terry Silver. Um, but yeah, if we're talking playing a character, I'm gonna say Miguel. I mean, part 3, it's taken 7 years to get to this point with the show. So the hype for that is insane. Karate Kid Legends, I'm looking forward to, but all eyes are on Cobra Kai right now, and that's the priority. But hopefully this film does cook, and I'm very excited from what I've seen so far. It's just that Cobra Kai's got so much with stakes with this tournament, with this Sekai Takai. There's so much more, and it's the main focus right now. That could be what is mentioned, but again, it's set 3 years after Cobra Kai, so we'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, that's probably why the creators are probably annoyed at that, because they made it clear the 2010 film isn't canon. But I think Sony can cherry pick Mr. Han still. But yeah, I think the weight of that quote now has probably changed. Personally, Robbie, I would honestly pick Robbie as well. I think just understanding a lot more of the things that he goes through. I mean, I already know based off what we've seen and everything. But yeah, like, just like how he feels with this stuff happening to him, because then you really understand more on, like, how it affects him personally. Even though you see it, feeling it is another thing. So honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think Cheng would be in his late 20s by this point in the timeline, because that film's in 2010. That's if we're thinking like that. So yeah, I guess we'll see if Cheng's in it. But it would be really cool if they bring him back. I would love to see that. I appreciate that, Jacob. Thanks. Did you actually do karate? Yeah, I did Shotokan karate growing up, and that was a very popular karate style here in the West. And I think it's kind of the first karate that a lot of people come across. And I think the other styles are more specific once you know karate, but Shotokan's a great foundational karate to start with, and then once you build up that experience in martial arts, I definitely recommend going into other karate styles. I mean, some people might have started with, Goju Ryu or Shoten Ryu or Kyokushin, which is very hardcore. I would actually love to learn that. I mean, it's a very aggressive style. I mean, if they included Kyokushin type of karate in Cobra Kai, whoever is using that style would be so savage, especially against like Miyagi-Do Cobra Kai styles. But yeah, I actually did do it growing up, and I haven't done Shotokan in a long time, but I still practice martial arts, but not quite as I used to with Shotokan. It's definitely a variety of styles now. Um, great question. What are you hoping for Robbie Miguel's brother relationship in part 3? Sadigu, thank you for your question, and I love your profile photo. So I want to see more of what we saw at the end of part 2. But honestly, I can see them flipping it. I think, especially if we do see more of Miguel facing Axel, which I think will happen. I want to see Miguel continuing to push and being that motivator for Robbie, along with the other things that keeps Robbie engaged and motivated for competing when he faces Axel again. And I also want Robbie to do the same for Miguel if he does face Axel, because I think it would be so badass if we see that Robbie's like meeting him with that same energy again. And it does parallel and switches the roles from part 2, because Miguel had his shine, but Robbie was the main card. He was doing it all when he was refocused and he got Quan and he defeated Quan. I mean, he took him out well as a captain, and he led the team when he needed the team to lead him. I mean, when the team needed him to lead as one of the captains. So yeah, I think what I'm hoping to see is more of Robbie and Miguel bonding as brothers, but also really getting to appreciate each other, pushing each other competitively. Very Rocky Apollo. That's what I want to see, is Rocky and Apollo level of like brotherhood, if that makes sense. So yeah. Who do you think will win between a prime Mike Barnes and a prime Sensei Wolf? And I'm calling it now. You'll hit 130K by February. Honestly, wow. I would be so over the moon and so shocked if we get 130K by then. But hey, never know. Never know if we get 150K. But yeah, I would be so over the moon if that happens. And I touch wood. I'm gonna say it. It's happening. Let's go. But to answer your question, I would say Prime Sensei Wolf. We don't see a lot of Barnes in his prime, but Sensei Wolf clearly has got more of an edge to him. Look, if Daniel and Johnny were struggling to fight him in the Sakai Takai brawl, Mike Barnes in his prime will have a problem. I think he would have a good fight with him, but I think Sensei Wolf would beat him, especially when you think about Sensei Wolf being a 3-time Sakai Takai champ. He's with the Iron Dragons. I mean, he's clearly full on no mercy, and he probably embraced it better than Kreese and Silva. And that guy is a beast. I mean, he's played by Louis Tan. So yeah, I definitely think Prime Sensei Wolf, especially if the Prime is now, which I'm assuming that is. Random, but how did the conversation about Sam and the Uber driver start? We were just talking about shows and films we like, because the Uber driver was like quite nerdy in a way, and he seemed really cool. So I just asked him like, what kind of stuff do you watch? And he was talking about Squid Game, and because we were talking on the subject of Netflix, I just asked him like, has he watched Cobra Kai? And he's seen Karate Kid and he's watched all of Cobra Kai. So just sort of asked him what his thoughts were, and then we just got into conversation with characters, and then he said like, oh, he doesn't like Sam. then that story you saw is what was said, which we were still talking about it after the story cuts off, but like it was so funny to hear his thoughts on why I didn't like Sam. Um, I was telling him though, I feel like people are over hating on Sam. I mean, we've seen such a better version of Sam, and she's at her best in season 6. Like, I think maturity has been at an all-time high with Sam this past season, and I think part 1 and part 2 has proven that. And I think people need to sort of forget, like, Sam isn't who she was in the earlier seasons, which she was problematic, quick to judge, very impulsive. And she had her reasons at the same time. But yeah, she was quite problematic at first, but she's changed a lot, and I think people aren't giving her enough credit for who she is now. And look at the way she's dealt with the Tory situation. Like old Sam or the younger version of Sam wouldn't have ever done that. So people need to remember that. It's like the stuff with Axel. Look how mature she's been with that as well. So um one question, did you notice that there was not one smartphone in the trailer? What says that about the timeline? Was it right after the Crikey 2010, but Mr. Han looks so old? So well, it's set 3 years after Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai is in the year of 2020 because that's when the Sekai Takai is taking place. So with that logic, 3 years, as Ralph had confirmed at Big TexCon in October, that means the year will be 2023 based on that information Ralph gave. So yeah, we didn't really see many smartphones. I didn't actually pay attention to that, but that's actually some good detail to notice. But I don't think it's a big deal. There might have been one. You never know if you rewatch it, but I don't know. Trashed in what way? What's up, Jenny? I actually remember reading John Hurwitz posted a response to someone about the ships. I think the ships are going to stay. I don't see them, you know, switching. I don't see Miguel and Tori getting back together. I don't see Robbie and Sam getting back together. I think the ships will stay. I don't think we need all that stuff, especially with part 3. They've already solidified it. They've gone through the ringer. Now the characters have to just that's the end game for me with those ships. So yeah. Um here's the thing, it's bad news if it ruins anything from the show, but at the same time, if it's telling its own story, but still respects Cobra Kai, Daniel's story, Miyagi's story, and more of that, and it does more with the universe, I'm happy with that. But you know, I wish the creators of Cobra Kai had been more involved in it, and perhaps if Sony had waited until season 6 was done and the creators could have got fully on board with it and helped them make the film, that would have been even great, because then we would have probably had a definitive character other than just Daniel that could have appeared in the film. Who knows? Miguel or Robbie, maybe Sam, or maybe Johnny. It really depends. You never know. Someone else could appear on the show, so we'll have to see. Um, oh, you do Wadu Ryu. That's pretty cool. It looks like it. I mean, it could just be that shot, and it's just maybe throwing people off that, something's going on with Daniel in the scene, but we don't know what's being said, so we still need to wait and see. But yeah, what's up, Carmen? That's a cool photo, Ralph. Love it. Yeah, I mean, out of the OGs, if Kreese or Silver goes, it really depends on what's going on with that. Um, I really hope if they do kill someone else off, they do it right. But I'm sure they will. Obviously, with Quan's death, everyone's still shocked with that. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, they what's up, Adam? I mean, there's no jiu-jitsu team specifically. I mean, maybe one of the teams might have had like a jiu-jitsu focus. I would say the closest thing to that, even though it was more judo, was Tiger Strike. Paula Ray Taylor, who plays Draga, the female captain of the Russian dojo, because she specializes in judo. That's her main style. She was doing a few moves of judo in that fight with Tori. And she was working on the ground with Tori as well. But jiu-jitsu, don't think we saw much of it with a specific team or anything. So no. But every country had its own style. Like the Brazilian dojo Redentores, or Redentors, they had a capoeira kind of style. And that's not karate, but it's cool to see every country had its own flavor and its own style and theme, which is cool. Ricky Sports Lover, thank you so much for the donation. Is the Karate Kid Legends movie a continuation? It's set in the Miyagi verse 3 years after the events of Cobra Kai's finale. It's canon to the universe, so it's canon to Cobra Kai. Yes. I actually have a whole video coming on that because I really tried to think of different ways they could bring Quan back. I think in the capacity of a dream sequence memorial, there's so much you can do. Maybe a flashback to part 1, flashback to a scene we've already seen in part 2 and part 1. Maybe when Kreese is thinking about Quan, he'll think of a scene and they might play like a quote reverbed. They've done that pretty well in part 1 and part 2, showing flashbacks from previous seasons. So because Quan has literally been in just this season, there's so much that's limited for them to go back to. But I think it'll be a quote from part 2 or part 1 that will play a significant part in showing how Kreese is feeling after what's just happened. That's my hope for it. What do you think is going to happen between Axel, Sam, and Miguel in part 3? I think tensions are going to rise even more with Axel and Miguel. But I will say that I think Sam is going to be the one that will help even Robbie with fighting Axel, because I think she's going to try and reach out to him whilst they're there and sort of have that conversation maybe with Axel, which parallels the conversation that Amanda had with Tori. And I think Sam's going to play a huge part in that, because if they do that, it shows like the growth of Sam. And it's not Sam saying, oh, don't not fight, but like don't hurt him, Don't do what your sensei is telling you, or Terry Silver. Like I feel like Sam would actually tell that or say that to Axel. And I think if Axel listens to her, that he really cares, that he wouldn't do that. Like he'd want to win cleanly. But if Robbie's beating him and he's losing, and Sensei Wolf or Silver are like, annoyed at the fact that Axel's losing, then he might go overboard and might break that promise to Sam, which again would cause more issues, and also it would annoy Miguel more. Even though he doesn't really like him. Anyway, I do think Sam will play a huge part in that though, and I think mentally she'll be the one that wins Axel over, at least so he doesn't fight like in this specific way. I would love to see that LaRusso logic, and I say that because of Amanda doing that with Tori. Tori still ended up winning, but Amanda said, "I just don't want this stuff to continue with you and Sam." That's the main thing Amanda was emphasizing. I think that Sam's gonna emphasize that with Axel. That I don't want this between him and Miguel to have continue. Like it can't be like this. And I think Sam will be the one to like stop that, or perhaps Axel doesn't listen and he kind of breaks that, as I said, that like breaks that promise. If it's to when he's fighting Miguel or Robbie. So yeah. What's going on, Adrian? I don't think Part 3 releases in mid-January, reaching for February. I mean, it was listed for February, but Netflix still haven't officially announced February, so it's up in the air. They might move it up. Remember, they moved up the Part 2 release date from 28th of November to the 15th. If they didn't move up the release date, that would have been interesting because we would have had less time to wait for a Part 3 teaser. And I'm not fussed that they moved it up, but it's cool that we got it in mid-November rather than the end of November on Thanksgiving. But yeah, I think we'll get something soon, and I would rather they have it for February because then we have a whole month of marketing with January coming up. So that's really important to enjoy. I think people need to remember we want to enjoy every little thing we're getting, and it's only a few months away. So it's really sad when you think about it. And the Karate Kid film, that's in May. So any Cobra Kai Karate Kid fix you have, you're gonna have to still wait until then, after Cobra Kai's fully aired. So it's gonna be sad for sure. I think we need to just appreciate every little thing, and I always keep emphasizing this. We should appreciate it. But yeah, do I think Miguel and Axel will be chill in front of each other if Miguel beats Axel in the Sekai Takai? I don't think he's gonna take it well unless he accepts his defeat gracefully, and Sensei Wolf and Silver have that car park moment with Kreese and Johnny in the Karate Kid 2, which was at the end, technically at the end of Karate Kid 1. That could happen. And maybe there's an understanding with Miguel and Axel, but I don't know if Axel's going to accept defeat. Perhaps because of what happened with Quan, that's got to throw him off his game at first. I also think Axel will hopefully appreciate Miguel as a fighter, as a martial artist, as a competitor, because if he does beat him, that would be crazy. But yeah, wait, what does this say? What's up, DJ Club? What if Snake was introduced in Cobra Kai? Do you think he would have still been working with Silver? Well, the thing is, they killed him off. I think because I thought the actor wasn't around anymore, but he's still around. He's just so off the radar. So we don't know all that stuff completely. But yeah. Oh, I actually remember talking about this on Instagram. I remember seeing the thoughts of the fans with this matchup. I think Chosen should win, but I think, in all honesty, Sensei Wolf might have the edge because he's younger. But then you can't deny that Chosen would give him such a great fight, especially what he did with Silver. I mean that would be an insane fight. Just imagine that. I'm just gonna make some more moderators because I'm starting to see too many people are or there's a few people that are keeping it, free from certain things. So if I make you a mod, you're welcome. I just need to see who haven't I made a mod yet. Sorry guys, bear with me. I will get to your questions, so don't worry. Also need to get to the John Hurwitz Q&A, 'cause I forgot to actually go into that. Kev, I'm going to make you a moderator. Eclipse, you're going to be a moderator. I appreciate everyone that's willing to mod. Yeah, I feel like my moderators are always in and out. I don't have dedicated mods, so it really depends unless I get in touch with them sooner or let them know I'm going live kind of thing. But yeah, let's actually get to the few questions and then I'm going to go to the Q&A stuff. Do you think we interview Raina? I would love to speak to Raina. I just don't think she's doing press for part 2. Because I was surprised. I didn't hear anything or see anything about her talking about part 2. So yeah, I don't think she participated in anything. Do you think there will be a South Korea karate invasion? What do you mean? Because of like Kwon's death? Like I'm a bit confused in what way you mean. Do you think we will get more insight to Kreese's PTSD, especially after the Kwon incident? If anything, that must change Kreese. Hopefully, this will be his path to redemption now, because Kwon's death is literally his moment to understand that no mercy in the way he goes about it has been wrong. It's not making your students stronger. It's actually putting them in more danger. And Kwon had gone too far with the Fury. And that's why he suffered. So it's sad, but he pushed a student too far this time, and he already had in the past, but they were very fortunate this didn't happen. So yeah, with Kwon, it sadly happened. Happy birthday, Joshua. Hope you have a great birthday around Christmas as well. That's cool. Finn, what's going on, man? Great to have you here, buddy. How have you been? I should make you a mod as well. Give me 2 seconds. I'll do it on my phone. Probably be quicker. If my mods can literally put a timeout on anyone that mentions anything, please can you do that ASAP? It's just getting annoying now. And the thing is, we don't even know if a lot of this stuff is true, but if it ends up being true, you just spoiled a bunch of stuff. And I'm talking to people that keep commenting and stuff. How do you think Snake died out of Cobra Kai? I mean, they didn't really go into it, but I guess like maybe he got himself in trouble or just illness. But I guess we'll We'll see. I mean, Kreese surely is dying then. He's dying this time if that's the case. I mean, the students from Korea made to attack Miyagi, Iron Dragon to defend Quan. I think that's too far. I mean, it's already far fetched with what happened with Quan, but like, it made sense for story. But I don't think they're gonna do this. I feel like Sensei Kim might just lose faith in the way of the fist and everything with that. I think she'll leave the tournament. She'll go back to Korea, but I think she will generally doubt her grandfather now, especially because of what she learned with Kreese embracing the way of the fist and the way Master Kim does. I think it's woken her up to why it's wrong, or at least something about it needs to change because she lost her student. She'll blame Kreese, of course, but she has to reevaluate what this philosophy means now, because this wouldn't have happened without Kreese's influence, and also without Kreese actually embracing Master Kim's lesson. So, yeah, and Jung Do really is a symbolic object and plot device to drive Kreese's redemption or his demise. It's literally poetry, if you think about it. I mean, let's wait until Karate Kid Legends is out, and then we'll see, because we don't know how it ends. And I think however they end the film will give us the inclination if they want to do more, or if it does set up something. I mean, if they do have a moment in a post-credit where Johnny does appear, or if another Cobra Kai character appears, that would be very interesting. And maybe Judy Pierce will return in one of the films, even though we still don't know if she's going to be in part 3. But I just doubt it at this point, just because we're at this point now where I just don't think Hilary Swank makes sense for the story unless she is one of the answers for Daniel. We'll need to wait and see, because after the show has ended, we'll then know, obviously, if Judy was in it. And then I'm sure we'll have some answers on the questions on why wasn't she involved. So yeah. Other leaks, Frill. We'll have to find out on Part 3's release date. Yeah, I've tried to time out or ban people because I'm not going to be on here very much longer, but this is the risk why I was like not doing a lot of streams recently, because I know people are like, oh, I saw this. It's like, can you just not do that for fans? Like, please, respectively, don't do that. We should get on to the John Hurwitz Q&A though. Abdurman, thank you so much for super chat. I think Quan and Zara would make a good relationship. Crazy couple, that would be. I get annoyed if I see sport in here, but I can only imagine on Discord must get really annoying. But you do a great job, so appreciate you being a mod. I brought the Korean Cobra Kai jacket, man. Really? Dude, I gotta see it. Did you get it off like an American site? Because I think I've seen a few people talk about that. Oh my god, did someone really say that about Hilary Swank? Appreciate it. Oh, do you hope to see Hector in part 3? Honestly, we will have to see. But I don't know if it's gonna make sense for Miguel to have that storyline, because that was season 5. Would be a cool twist though. Do you think the Sakai Takai will be the final episode, or do you think it'll be around episode 13 they hide something else? I guess it could go to the final episode, but it really depends on how they do it, because yeah, the first 2 episodes, I don't think they would be the tournament. It has to be the aftermath of the Sakai Takai, how they resume it. Are they gonna push for it? And what's the plan for that? How are they gonna bring it back? That's the big question. How the kids react to this, that's gonna be a very big question for part 3, and that will be a big plot point. I also think it makes sense for them to start the tournament that episode in episode 13 because there's so much more ground they can cover and wrap up many other stories. And then the last 2, I think, yeah. I mean, the tournament could go into the last episode, but I don't want it to be the last thing in the episode because then it would be cool to see it end in like a Karate Kid way, but then there's so much more that they should do after the tournament's conclusion. I mean, Johnny and Daniel need their own scene at Miyagi's grave. I think that would be a great way to end the series. It's a full circle of Daniel embracing Johnny, Johnny embracing Daniel, and the appreciation overall honors Pat Morita's Mr. Miyagi. It honors the characters of Daniel and Johnny. It gives more redemption to Johnny because this story really is about him. So yeah. What's up, Nico? How you doing, buddy? Is Anthony gonna do something, or did he learn karate for nothing just for himself? I feel like people expected way too much from Anthony from the get-go. I don't think Anthony was ever a character that was supposed to have the, you know, this level of importance like Sam or, you know, the other kids. But I think he doesn't need to be so involved in the karate, like, in that way. I'm gonna make a few people mods because I see if you're a regular, I'll make you a mod. I just want to see. Why can't I see? Rodney, what's going on, bro? I'm just trying to make some people mods, so sorry guys, bear with me. DJ Club, I just made you a mod. Rodney, if you would like to be a mod, let me know. Amari, I made you a mod. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Anthony will get his due diligence by the end of the show, but I don't think he needs like too much, Again, he's so young, and I feel like the youngsters, you can really pick that up at some point later on. And I think they had to skip over stuff because there's so much they can do with the amount of time they get, and this show doesn't have the budget to do more with certain characters, I feel, but it's also what actually plays a bigger part in the story. If a character isn't getting enough development and they can get that exploration, and there's a massive call to have more of a story to develop a certain character that would hold up in a series well, then there's every reason to do that. But like, I don't ever see Anthony having his own show, do you? It's just an unfortunate thing. Like, not every character that's been introduced is going to get a lot of development. He's been there from season 1, but he only started to get more attention when season 4 dropped, and that was mainly, I feel, to complement Kenny's story. And obviously Devin's now intertwined with that, with him and Devin being friends. So yeah. I don't know if this is an official jacket. I think it's a replica, but it basically must be like very similar. Oh yeah, because I remember you spoke to me about that. I can't wait to see how it turns out though. But yeah, that's gonna be so fun to make. I really wish Frank Helmer, the costume designer, could fully sell those and make like a massive range so more people can get them, because those like literally those jackets are just so badass. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those out costumes or jackets that everyone wants. Like I heard like cast people workers from different departments on the show really wanted the jacket, but obviously there's so many that there's available. Um yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you got with that. I honestly would like to see that because he really wanted to be part of the Sekai Tekai. That was probably one of the reasons why he wanted to be a national champ, because he wants to fight around the world. He wants to scale up. And him losing an All Valley probably hurt his rep, but it's also he got banned from karate. And I mean, even if it's an All Valley, it would probably show up that he got banned from this. So then naturally he couldn't compete for an All Valley. But yeah, I think it depends where they're going with that. But yeah, it would be cool, especially it being in the Valley. I think I honestly think that Mike Barnes could play such a big role in helping Miyagi-Do. It would be cool to see him join up with Miyagi-Do for a bit, just to help with the fights or even the training. Seeing him help like Sam and maybe Tori. Actually, it depends because Tori's obviously still on Cobra Kai at this point. I mean, with Robbie and Sam, I would love to see him like help them with training, because that would be cool. And even like interact with Johnny and Daniel Chosen about how they go about these like fighters and what his analysis would be. What's going on, man? How you doing? You think it might be a time jump in a new Sakai Takai, Steve? They would have to do a 2-year time jump for that, so I don't think that would happen. Nico, I know you watched Parker Yu latest Cobra Kai YouTube. Oh, that was hilarious. I mean, Parker Yu or Parker Yo, absolutely amazing, the edits he does and the effort. I remember watching the season 5 ones that he made. Check out Parker Yo. He's so hilarious. YouTube poop like is such a meme, but like Cobra Kai YouTube poop, yeah, it's something I wouldn't have thought I'd see. But yeah, it's just so funny. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jupinder. Really appreciate that, man. No, I have not received anything. Plus, even if I had the chance, I wouldn't watch it this early. I mean, it's the last 5 episodes. I really want to enjoy this one close to release, or on release rather. But yeah, no, the cast would have seen it. Of course, they will definitely want to see it, and they obviously already know what happens filming it. So I'm curious how they feel. But yeah, Pardon me. I hope Jacob gives hints when he gave hints. Like every interview, you mentioned death before part 3 release. He even said that in my interview. He said people cheat and people die. Cheat, technically, cheating. Dimitri cheated on Yasmin. You could say Robbie technically did with Zara, but then, I mean, I don't blame Robbie because he thought Tori was cheating on him. But no, the point is, like, Jacob made it clear someone was going to cheat, unless he meant in a fight as well. We're yet to see that, I think. I'm trying to remember if there was any cheating in part 2's like fights. I don't think there was. Only thing I would say is close to cheating was Quan elbowing Robbie during his fight with Axel, but that's not really cheating. That's just being an asshole. And yeah, no, someone dying. That, like, Jacob was like trolling, but he was like constantly bringing that up. Same with Gianni as well. They were definitely trying to get fans prepared for that. Yeah, in episode 10, I absolutely love that. And Miguel having those moments, like, I love it when he goes into that mode where he's just maturity's all high and he's just so like inspirational. And you can't stop him. It's so rocky. I love that. I appreciate that, Jacob. Yeah, I think he pretty much is just set up for the future. I don't think you need to do too much of them. Do I have any spin-off ideas you'd like to see? I definitely see a Miyagi prequel. I would love to see a Core Force spin-off and focusing on the kids, but like set it way after the show. More so to the age that the cast members are now. Or like this is after college years, or if some of them didn't even go to college, like maybe they're in their mid-20s now. So to see like how they're dealing with life since they finished college and sort of them becoming a version of themselves that reflects what, sort of the development we see in Cobra Kai, but it's like an enhanced version, and they're obviously just more mature and more skilled in martial arts. Like, I would love to see that. Binary Brothers spin-off, that could be a fun like limited series, but the whole thing with them with their own show, they would need to introduce so many characters if it's just them. I mean, Gianni and Jacob would be amazing as leads, but I feel like they need a really strong supporting cast with them. And yeah, what else would it just be about? It'd be American Pie, but with Karate Kid. That's how I kind of see it. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see a one with Chosen if he goes back to Okinawa by the end of the show, which I think he will. And maybe if some of the kids from Miyagi they'll go to Okinawa to study college. I mean, if Miguel and Sam went to Okinawa with Chosen, but they're going to college there, that'd be kind of crazy. But then I think it's interesting. I would like to see, even though we do have a lot of Kreese and Silva in this whole series, and they've done so much, I would like to see the early days of Cobra Kai beginning, like when they first opened the dojo, the All Valleys that Johnny competed in, or his junior year, when he didn't even lose a point, as he said, or Kreese said, and Johnny said that a few times, or at least once, and he's won it twice. So to see Johnny winning his first All Valley, that'd be cool. And just like the relationship he had with Kreese, what Silva was up to within that time, because he obviously helped Kreese open the dojo and he financed it and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be interesting. Same with Hawk. He's already had his moment in season 4. Not much you can do with him afterwards. Yeah, there was some pissed opportunities, but are more important for the screen time. Others are more important for screen time. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Hawk definitely. I know people feel like he's been nerfed because he got so strong in season 3 and season 4. Season 4 was his most balanced, and he showed his real potential there as not just like a third best out of Miguel and Robbie. Like he can compete with them. Obviously, plot might have gotten in the way there because he wouldn't have beaten Miguel, but then Robbie was going to win that fight, but it's because he was distracted with like Kenny and stuff. So obviously, Hawk ended up winning, but Hawk is also very skilled. Like, people don't forget that. But season 5 and 6, it feels like they've sort of not. I mean, he's supposed to be in his prime, but it does look like they've downgraded him. It's just based on the fights and the outcomes of the way they've shown it. Because I think after the stuff with the silver bullet that Kenny did to him in season 5, it just made him look so much weaker. Whereas he did look more dominant as a fighter in season 3 and 4. But 4 was more balanced, and he had to return to being Eli, but also as badass as Fear of the Hawk. Problem is, though, when he goes too dark, he's not balanced. So it's kind of like what we saw with Quan. So yeah, I think Hawk got some shine in episode. He got some moments, but it was just more of a binary bros moment with him and Dimitri in episode 9. That move he gets, or that point he gets on one of the Cobras, that was so cool. When he grabs his arms, he like blocks it, and then he grabs them, and then like he does that double kick. Like that was so cool. I think Miguel and Robbie were always going to have the limelight in part 2 in that way out of the kids, the males in Miyagi did. But Hawk definitely should have got some more shine, I think, because I do feel bad like we haven't seen that as much. But yeah, like you said, there's so many characters that need it more, especially with the final season. This is also why I feel like if there was a 7th season, we would have probably got that opportunity to explore a little bit more with certain characters, building up characters more and all that. And we'll see how season 6 ends, because I do want to talk about why I think a 7th season would have worked for so many different things. But, I'm sure we'll get a satisfying conclusion and the main things done. But they might have had to skip over certain things because, like you said, there's more important things for other characters for screen time. Philomena, how's it going? Hopefully, you get one scene in the movie where Daniel's with his family. It's all that they really need to connect TK without stepping on TK toes. Yeah, it could be that Amanda's in it. If Sam's in it, that'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. And Ralph's Daniel in Karate Kid Legends, he's got a wedding ring on, so clearly, it's just this. We know he's married, but obviously Amanda's is still his wife. So yeah. Chosen is a chosen one when it comes to comedy. He is so funny. Speaking of Chosen, I actually do have something for you guys. I love that clip. So funny. He looked like Miguel. Appreciate that. Yeah, it is badass, right? I absolutely love all the different companies that worked with Sony to license merch, like Contenders Clothing. They do such a great job. Shout out to them. The Netflix store have got some really cool merch. I've seen custom merch on different sites like Etsy. And yeah, there's like all these different types of merch that you see. But yeah, very unique. I'd say Cobra Kai is one of the most unique merch lines. Miguel, is that you? UK Miguel, not the real Miguel. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. Zara has some serious jealousy issues. Oh, 100%. Like you don't want to root for Zara one bit. Like, cool, you're a champion, but wow, she really wants like everyone to hate her. Because ironically, she thinks like she loves the attention she gets, the claps, the round of applause when she's like doing really good in the tournament. But when others are getting that applause, she hates it. Like when they started chanting Tori, Tori in episode 7 during the platform fight, as when her and Yoon were fighting, the Swedish dojo, and like her face, and then she's with Robbie. Zara doing that was just I'm sorry, you cannot root for her. I do think that we would benefit more from seeing like, I mean, we've got a little bit with Axel, but like with Zara, I want to know why she is this cocky. Like, what is it that pushes her? It could be that she had a similar life to Tori, but she went the wrong way about it. She doubled down on being like the way she is. So, and it's clearly like it's got to her head with her winning the last tournament. Because I'm curious how she was at the last Takai Takai. Was she quiet? Did she develop that confidence after that tournament? That's why she became cocky. Like, we don't know that. But yeah. Hopefully in part 3 we get something that kind of indicates that. So yeah. Honestly, I would like to see Sean return. I think it'll be cool, especially if he's supporting Kenny. But then again, Kenny's not going to be competing in the semis or the finals. But yeah. Yeah, Chosen spinoff would be cool. I mean, I think there's so much more you can do with him, but then they've done so many great things with him already. So yeah. I think I've caught up with all the questions. We need to actually go to the Q&A now. So let's go. Okay, so you guys see my screen. So John said this in response to this Twitter user, which was asking about when is the season 6 part 3 trailer dropping? Are we getting something this month? He said you'll get a tiny taste soon, but wouldn't expect a trailer until much closer to release. He's talking about the official trailer, so don't get confused with the teaser. Because the teaser is a trailer, but it's called a teaser because it's not a full-on trailer. And it could just be a release date for part 3 to confirm it, a tiny glimpse, because all we need for the teaser is just give us the release date for part 3 and give us a slight glimpse at what's to come with part 3. That's it. So yeah. I even said this on Twitter because of what is happening on Christmas Day is that NFL game, and Ralph and William were promoting it. I think they're gonna drop a new trailer for it. So John actually had quite a few good questions. Oh, I really hope Cobra Kai wins an award. So yeah, that was a Q&A did. It ended like 2 hours ago, but he had a lot of interesting questions, even about Tori's arc here. He said something interesting about like teasing, Tori's arcs being one of his most favorites. And I'm sure her story is going to be incredible how they end it. I think this is for all the shippers, because clearly we have a lot of the fandom. San Miguel and Keenery are both featured in part 3. The question is whether either of them are endgame. John's really really had to say that, didn't he? Shippers always like, it's like when we always get a question about Moon if she's going to be the next season, but I feel like season 6, like, I mean, Hannah was at the premiere. I didn't talk to her. Like, I should have interviewed her, but I remember just seeing her, and I'm like, she's got to be in, if not part 1, she's in part 2. And I think they are definitely going to be endgame as the couples. I don't think anyone's John is definitely trolling. I'm sorry. He's having a hater moment here. I love you, John. But I think Sam, Miguel, and Keanu, that's their same game. They can't be doing those switches. No more. I really hope the teaser comes next week. I'm also happy because I got my new mate at college into the show. She loves it and she finished it in a few days. Wow. Now we can watch the last part together. She finished it in a few days. She binged all 6 seasons. Round of applause to your college friend. That's cool. I love it when Cobra Kai fans that I know are getting their friends into the show, or when you successfully get someone into the show. Like, it's so cool because I always get that reaction, like, damn, I wish I watched this sooner. Because I know there's a show, or plenty of shows where I'm like, damn, why didn't I watch Teen Wolf on release? Why didn't I watch this show on release? Why wasn't I obsessed with this back then? Like, I wish I'd started my channel when Cobra Kai first came out, because if I knew I was gonna love it this much, I would have doubled down on starting YouTube sooner. But yeah, love hearing that. What other questions has John answered that are good? Oh, this is a pretty good question as well, but John made it very clear that they never considered killing Chosen at the end of season 5, which I think should have never happened. He also teased about Sam's character, saying she does have an arc, and I'm proud of the growth she's shown throughout the series. Mary Mauser, fantastic performer, she really is. And he says he cried during one of her scenes in the back 5, and Josh Hill made fun of him. I mean, that's got to be if that is what I'm thinking, a scene with Sam and Tori maybe that parallels the scene in part 1. That could be one of the things. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be emotional for sure. Very emotional. It's one of those things. I do like that tease. Yeah, John actually responded to my question here. I said what was his thoughts on the Karate Kid Legends trailer. Obviously, Ralph just keeps getting younger every year. Just every time I see like a photo of him in Cobra Kai, or, in the trailer, he just looks so much younger. And he said Ralph's a stud. Obviously, trailer looks awesome. Love the use of the drum. I absolutely love that part as well. That's probably one of the coolest ways of doing a Karate Kid trailer, right? Absolutely awesome. But yeah, I absolutely love that. Someone asked, will the new Karate Kid movie acknowledge the Netflix show in any way? John said, I haven't seen the movie, but I hate Daniel Russo's in it, which is awesome. And yeah, that was what I showed you guys earlier on. The Tiny Taste soon is next week. It's got to be next week, because if we're getting something in December, that's literally it. December ends on Monday and Tuesday the following week, and the year starts on a Wednesday. It's kind of funny. But yeah, next week is the 29th. I can't see them dropping anything after on that weekend. It's got to be in the week. So I think Christmas Day makes sense. And also Wednesday, I still remember the season 3 date announcement teaser trailer came out on 9th December 2020. I came running to my desk, watched the trailer, then I did the breakdown for it. And yeah, I remember that was 3 weeks before Cobra Kai season 3 was coming out. That was so fun. And yeah, I just can't believe that. How quick. That's been 4 years now. Wow. Damn, 4 years? I can't believe that. No, that is crazy. Wow. My Sonic fan? Yes, I need to see Sonic 3. I really like the other two films. Sure, 3 was amazing. She told me she watched until like 3 a.m. every night. Damn. That's crazy. She must have been so into it. I don't think that. I mean, I think I don't know. I wouldn't say confirmed, but like I'm pretty sure they've kind of made that sort of clear that wasn't ever the case. But yeah, I don't use Twitter. I only see them briefly on social media, so it's great to see. Thanks. Oh, no worries. I know a lot of people don't go on there. That's why I make videos on this stuff as well, because I know some people are like, oh, I've seen this. It's like, but not everyone has Twitter or checks it. So yeah, doing what I can. Me and Toy were seeing you chose see each other on the podium, so it might be that. Robbie, don't give up, mate. Don't give up. Yeah, I think that's all the questions for the Q&A pretty much. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. I think that is it for the stream. So we've been going on for nearly an hour and a half. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope you all have a great weekend. I am going to have a nice tea. Has chosen say Long Island iced tea. I just can't believe what he said in part 2. He's like, one for this fist, one for this fist. Oh man, I love Chosen. But yeah, hope you all have a great rest of your week. It's going to be another great week. Stay tuned for loads of content. If you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any more live streams here on Cobra Kai Nation. I can't wait to see this part 3 teaser and more on Karate Kid Legends. I also really appreciate your support. If you want to see any specific content and maybe you have a suggestion, obviously leave a comment here. Even DM me. I'm always down for new ideas, but also I want to prioritize the most important content now, specifically as we're only a few months away to a release. And there's so many cool things I've done this year, so I haven't posted about. And that's like Comic-Cons as well. And I've got vlogs that I haven't posted, so I need to like post that stuff. Just stay tuned. There'll be so many cool things. I'll be posting a lot more shorts of my trips and different types of content that have literally been sitting there for so long now. Like all my this or that content, I still got to do that. Didn't mean to pun that. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great evening. And the last thing I will say is...
God.